What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope all's good wherever you are. In this video, we have Dr. Sam Richards, who is a teacher at Penn State University. I love his content. I will link the full-length video that this clip was taken out from in the description down below. This man puts out great content. Why do you agree with him or not? These are discussions that should be had in university, that used to be had in university, that now, because of a lot of these leftist universities, we are not having anymore. We're just trying to indoctrinate people. This is a clip where he discusses with students the statistics on cops on black crime in America. Let's get into it.
All right, here we go. Let's talk about Black Lives Matter. So this guy started it, and here's what he said. Read that. It oppresses black people, right? It's bigger than football, oppresses black people. And we're talking about violence. This initially emerged as a result of violence against black people, killing black people, okay? Go to the next slide. What's it take? This is from just last week in St. Louis. Protests that arose as a result of the plea of police killing a young black man who was running from them and they were driving away from them, and where all sorts of things happened, but the police officer got off. And so people went out into the street. And so the question is, what's it take to get people out into the street?
I think it takes just killing, when they realize their own people or their own kind is getting shot or getting killed or being oppressed by the cops. That's when it just takes them this is just it, I have to protest.
I have to protest. It's done.
Yeah.
Something happens, something I see, it's done, I'm out, I'm in the streets. So let's look at the data, because I see signs like this. Police must stop shooting us. It's a genocide. I was going to put a sign up and I didn't take it down. Someone had a sign that said, it's a genocide of black people. Right? Genocide of black people, okay? So we're going to look at the data here. Go to the next one. People were killed by the police in 2016. How many people were killed by the police in 2016? What do you think?
I don't want to guess because I got it so wrong last time.
No, that's okay. No, guess. That's what this is about.
I'm going to say 1,000.
This is all people.
It's all people?
All people.
Wow. I think 1,000 too.
What do you all think? What do you think? Come up with a number. Say it to the person next to you. What do you think? Dude, what do you think? 500?
I don't know. I'm just I just always
What do you think, bro?
1,000 kind of the
What's that?
safety. Yeah,
200, 300? What do you think? How much?
it was last time. 15 to 144. Okay.
All right, here we go. 2016, 963.
Got it.
Okay?
Right.
You both nailed it.
Yeah.
You're good. Okay. And who are these people? What's their background? Right? Who are the people that got killed? Of 963, how many do you think were black?
I would say about 600 will be black.
600.
And then the rest will be maybe Hispanic.
600 were black. What would you say?
Probably 500.
How many were black? Turn to the person next to you. Come up with a number. What do you say, bro? 300?
47%.
Love guessing.
Dude, how many?
I hate feeling stupid.
I know.
557.
There's a lot of people watching.
Dude, how many?
What's your
All right, you ready? Next one. Okay, so here we go.
I'm surprised.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're off, right? If you're, what do you think about that number?
This is actually kind of surprising. I honestly thought it would be more black people because they show more black people getting I know, they make it seem like black people are always getting killed by the cops more than.
It's this high.
That's all I see in media, like on Twitter. I only seen one video of a white guy getting shot like 7 times, but that was just like a couple days ago. Apart from that.
What would you say?
I find that kind of surprising too, but like I agree. Like I see more media like showing black people getting killed by police than white people, so it's probably just like in my mind, since I see it more, then it happens more.
Okay. So go to the next one. So here's...
If you like these videos, you like this type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel and help it grow. Leave a thumbs up on the video. That really helps me out. Let's get back to the clip.
U.S. population by ancestry, okay? So here we are, 63 right now. In mid-2016, 63% white, 17% Hispanic Latin. You see the numbers, right? So let's break this down and what we're talking about. Next slide. So here's the likelihood of being killed by the police. This is not, if you're doing illegal activity, this is just breaking it down. So you have 1 in 250,000 for black people. White people, clearly you're less likely to be killed if you're white. And are those numbers large? Are those numbers large to you?
Yeah.
They are?
What you like?
Is 1 in 250,000, is that high?
No, it's I don't.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I don't really know. Like, it's a lot. Like that ratio is a lot different than the rest.
You can, okay, hang on.
Like,
okay, why don't you answer it in the same way that you answered the other question?
it depends.
Yeah. I asked you the same question. Is that high?
I know. Yeah, no. It's not high, but still does depend on the situation. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, hang on. I'll help you, though. No, I'm not trying to trap you, by the way.
No.
The same answer flies
Yeah.
here. Because it just depends. It's high. It's still 1 out of 250,000 is still high.
Yeah.
1 out of 250 million is high. If you're that one person, and if that's your family, like if that's someone in your family, doesn't matter if it's 1 out of 250 million. It matters. If your father's the only police officer that's hurt in the line of duty in all of the next 10 years, that's still too high. It's still unacceptable to you, right? What do you think about the number, 1 in 250,000?
I actually think that's, I don't know. I think that's pretty high, just because it's like a person. No matter, like, every life matters. So, like, I think 1 out of 250,000 is like, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Okay, but listen, can I throw something at you now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, the one girl, she mentions the media, and the media is a big problem with this. They have an agenda. They're generally very left-leaning. There's tons of crime. If you go on Twitter, you can find this. Tons of crime on white people done by black kids in school, just beating up white kids. And you never hear of it because, unfortunately, that's not the skin color that these leftist media want to push as victims. They like to show black people being victims or other ethnicity being victims. I don't blame the other ethnicities. I blame the mainstream media for trying to push a certain narrative. And you see these 2 girls just believe that. Look, we had Daniel Penny, who, unfortunately, that man that he choked on the subway died, but they tried to make this man look like a psychopath. And listen, the fellow that he choked, that was a career criminal who had, on multiple times punched old ladies in the face. He was threatening people on the subway. They tried to paint him as a Michael Jackson impersonator just trying to make a buck, a homeless guy. No. He was a serial criminal. He was in and out of jail. He committed multiple crimes. He had a bunch of restraining orders against him. The same goes for George Floyd. Again, unfortunate that the man died, but one can make a case that the world is a better place without these 2 people. He was high on fentanyl at the time. This is a guy who robbed people, punched women. Listen, he was in jail many times. This was not the right person for them to make a martyr out of. You look at a place like Chicago, every day almost a black person gets, terminated by gun violence. Some great men get killed every day in these liberal cities, and you don't hear anything about it. Often for the fact that they are, terminated by other black people. And that is not the narrative that the media wants to push on you. They want to push that, white people are evil, white supremacy, all that nonsense. This is why we need to have these conversations and get the actual facts out in the open. Let's get back to the video.
We haven't talked about what these people were doing, what people were doing who were killed by the police, right? So if I'm a criminal and I'm trying to shoot her father, and then her father's partner, somebody shoots me, then that's not a high number. That 1 in 250,000, I was trying to kill somebody and I got shot in the process. So that's not inherently a problem. It's either I kill this innocent person, like if I'm going to try to kill you, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And somebody shoots me,
Yeah.
you're like, thank God you shot that knucklehead, right?
Yeah.
So right now, these numbers don't really mean a lot. Are we cool? They don't really mean a lot because we don't know what they are. So we can say, well, yeah, look, it's 1 in 250. Well, clearly, black people are more likely to get killed. Well, maybe black people are doing more things to provoke the police. So, like, we don't know that. We really don't know yet. So we got to go further. You see, like, you got to keep going further. Are you there? Are you following me?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right, man. Are we cool? Got it? This is a thinking class right now. I'm walking you through some thinking. Okay, go to the next one. So 233 black people were killed by the police in 2016 out of a population of 39 million. Okay? How would you answer that young man's question? Am I next? How would you answer his question?
I would honestly say yes, because I just feel like, I don't know, like I feel like it's harder being a black male.
No, but what do you mean?
Like,
He's saying, am I next?
Yeah.
Am I next? You're saying, yes, you are next?
I mean, like, not like, I mean, like, he better watch out the things he does.
Okay, got ya.
because, yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah, just
You're-
watch out because, like, he's kind of like a target, you know? His appearance, you know, he looks like a typical black male, so.
Okay, so if he's holding a sign and then I'm holding the sign, or like, I don't know, somebody else who looks more like him, a white guy and that dude over there who looks like a hippie, right, in the front row. If that dude's holding a sign, you're going to say, yeah, this guy, you should watch your back more than that guy.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
What would you say?
I think that opinion does make sense. Like, I agree with the, like, watch your back thing, but also, like, watch the situations you get yourself into as well. You know what I, like, if you're in a more dangerous situation, then more can go wrong than if you're not. But I do agree that, like, if a white guy was holding that sign, it would be more likely for the black guy to
Got
have
you.
to be more in danger of getting hurt than the white guy.
Okay. All right, let's go one more. Are we cool? Is everyone following here? Are we good? Okay, we're going to go one more. Ready? So how many of the 963 people were unarmed? This is what we're talking about here, right? Remember the story? It's like if I got a gun to the two of you, right? Like I have a gun to your heads. That's very different than if I'm just like walking up next to you or behind you and somebody sees me and shoots me because they think I'm going to do harm to you, right? It's like very different. If I have a weapon, if I don't have, if I say, hey, I'm going to kill these two people and I'm standing here and I have no weapon on me, I have nothing, and the police shoot me anyway, it's very different than if I'm standing here with a knife saying I'm going to kill these two people. Okay, are we good with that? So how many of the 963 people were unarmed? How many do you think were unarmed? Of the 963. What do you think? Unarmed. 963. We're talking white people. How many do you all think? Turn to the person next to you. What do you think? How many of the 963 were unarmed? Okay, here we go. Go to the next slide. So here are the numbers. This was the most comprehensive analysis of the data done by a research team at the Washington Post. It's not 100% accurate, but it's pretty accurate. So 69 unknown, but unknown enough that they didn't throw them in the unarmed category. So they were, you assume that the likelihood of being unarmed is equal percentage-wise, ratio-wise to the other. In a vehicle, can we be clear about a vehicle? That's a vehicle trying to run over police. Toy guns, a lot of those people, of course, were committing suicide in all likelihood, because that seems to be a form. What do you think about that number? Hang on, can I ask you first? What do you think about that number? You said 600.
I said 550.
500, and you said 400. We're unarmed. You said 500. We're unarmed. What do you think about that number?
I'm actually kind of like shocked. I honestly thought like, I'm not saying like the media, like, I don't know, they just made it seem like, the guy was innocent, he was just trying to go about his way. But I don't know, like, I don't know the numbers they took or the guys they took it from or whatever. But I just think it's just crazy how 517 had a gun. I would think it would be less than that.
Yeah, okay.
To be honest,
yeah, so you certainly think it would be more.
Way
especially
less than
given
that.
what you just said about looking at your Twitter feed and
Yeah.
Facebook and social media and so on, right?
I mean, well, like, we know, like, the media just exaggerates everything, so I guess not to pay attention to it.
What do you think about the number?
I'm actually pretty surprised by it too, but when I think about it more, I guess like since the media does portray more of those stories where the person is unarmed, so again, like it makes me think that there are more cases of unarmed things, but clearly there's not.
So 22 out of 233 black people who police killed in 2016 were unarmed. 22 out of 233. Okay? So now the question is, so that means you have a 0.6 chance in a million. 0.6 chance, about half of 1% in a million of being unarmed, black skin, and killed by the police. So now, when you answer that guy's question, am I next? What would be your answer to that question?
22 out of 233 black people, I think that's a lot.
Go with the bottom one.
But the bottom?
0.6 out of a million. If he stays unarmed, you say, bro, listen, in spite of how you're dressed, in spite of who you are, if you remain unarmed, right, that's the likelihood of you being killed by the police.
I think it's a lot because even 0.1 would be a lot to me.
So it goes back to what
Yep.
Brianna said. Brianna, right? Brenna?
Yeah.
What Brenna said. It's like it's still to that one family, it matters. Okay, and so what I'm going to say to the two of you is, look, is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? It's like it just depends. We can argue that that's a high number. We can argue that's a low number. We can argue it's exaggerated. We can argue like, no, man, it's not exaggerated. It's still really high. Like, what is it? You can make the argument in lots of different directions. But what I want to say is, look, if we're going to make the arguments and if we're going to get involved in protests, like, can you go to the next slide, bro? No, hang on, go to one more. That, if you're going to protest like that, but this whole thing is based on police violence against black and brown people. So if you're going to protest, really step out in this way, you got to know what you're protesting. It's really important to understand what it is. You know what I mean? Is it like 600 unarmed people, or is it, hang on, 42 or 48, or like what are we looking at here? Like, is it a genocide? So when I see someone holding a sign up that says, "Stop the genocide of black people," at a protest, and I'm saying, go back, can you go back 2 slides? I wouldn't call that a genocide. There's a lot happening here, but that's not what I would call it. And so for me, as someone who's talking about race relations, who sees these things from lots of perspectives, it's really important that we know what we're talking about so that we can be confident and have realistic and good conversations. Because I agree with you. I mean, yeah, it's still high. And yet, it's not what most people think. If I took a microphone, if I went to that protest in St. Louis last week and I walked around with the microphone and I started asking people, hey man, how many people was it last year? How many people? And each one of those, and even the people who are armed, it doesn't matter, it's a life, right? But if I start asking that question, people are going to give me these really, really high answers. I'm sure 5,000, 8,000, I have no idea. It's like, no, man, that's not bringing us where we need to go, okay?
The media tries to push that all white cops are racist, which is not the case. It's not the case that most police officers are bad people or are racist. Are there racist people? Are there racist police officers? I'm sure there's racist black ones. I'm sure there's racist white ones. I'm sure there's racist Asian police officers. The biggest problem, in my opinion, in the black community is the fatherless home problem. It's over 30% of the black families in America that the kids are in fatherless homes. And if you look at the statistics on fatherless homes, the teen pregnancy, 70% of teen pregnancies, I think, or maybe it's 80 now, are from fatherless home. Incarceration rates, over 77% of people that are incarcerated in the black community are from fatherless homes. School dropouts, over 75% of kids that drop out of high school are from fatherless homes. Having a dad at home helps tremendously, especially for young boys that are aggressive. And, you're at home with a single mother who doesn't really know how to raise a young boy. Often they're taught by women. Their whole life is, people teaching them are women that, again, they're not men. And this is why you see a lot of this aggression and the feminization of men in North America. And look, fathers need to be more present. The women, I get it. They have incentive to break up the family home, right? They get the house, they get the car often, the government gives them money. They're incentivized to break up the marriage. But I can't put it all on the women because there are some deadbeat dads out there, and unfortunately I've met a lot of them through my life and through my travels. So it goes both ways. If you're going to have a kid, you have to be accountable for your actions. Both genders have to be. But that doesn't take away from the fact that here is a real statistic taken from the FBI's website, is that over 55% of crimes are committed by black people in America. Black people are about 12 to 14% of the population. Most of those crimes are committed by men, so split that in half, right? It's about 50-50. So 7% of the population, we have 7% of the population committing over 50% of the crimes and over 70% of all violent crimes. That is numbers that, I don't care who you are, you can't blame that on society, you can't blame that on the police. Sure, are there other factors that contributed to this? Poverty, fatherless homes? Yes, of course, but at the end of the day, you are accountable for your actions. And this is why you see this crime rate go down, in my opinion, in other ethnicities. The Asian community has a nuclear family on lockdown. The family stays together. This is what I think is privilege in life. If you're a privileged person, if you can have a mother and a father at home that love you, that instill good values in you, that teach you the right ways of life, you have way more chances of being successful than if you don't have that. The black community, unfortunately, that is a big problem that needs to be fixed. It's the fatherless home problem. Then, it trickles down to the Hispanic community and then the white community and the Asian community. They commit the least amount of crimes. They have the most dads at home. I think there should be more teachers putting this stuff out there. I used to love listening to Jordan Peterson's lectures. I love Sam Richards' classes. I've listened to many of his full streams. It is excellent. You don't have to agree with the guy all the time, but he is having the important discussions, and what he's teaching critical thinking. This is the thinking that we stopped teaching to young kids in school. Now they're indoctrinated. They're told what to think by these leftist teachers. They're not told how to think and how to make up their own opinions. The beauty of life is that we're all the same, and you can have different opinions, but we have to talk about it. And these leftist universities these days, they don't even want to have the debate. They want to shut down all conversation. They want to teach their way and not have these debates. Sam Richards is out here having the hard conversations with his students and actually teaching. This is what you should be taught in university. You should be taught how to think critically. If not, like the movie Good Will Hunting said, you can just get a library card and get an education from reading a book if you're just going to regurgitate everything that's in the book. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to the channel. Help it grow. Catch you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.